Good morning. So here we are, Tuesday morning, and like I hope to do most mornings, I'm reading a book. And this is a book that was suggested by a friend of mine, John Bessler, called Get a Grip. And the concept is on getting a grip on your company, on your systems, on your processes. More importantly, for me, it's on getting a grip on what everybody in the company does and also what we do for businesses. So I'm going to read this little excerpt that caught my attention this morning because it clearly lays out the exact concept, lays out two issues I've had in my business the past few years. So, quick background, I've had an agency for 11 years. And from 2007 to 2008, I guess 2017 really, we had a lot of clients that we were everything for. That we had, I'm good at marketing, I'm good at concepts, but I was never willing to accept and tell clients no. And so we constantly did a lot of things that we were decent at, but that we didn't have systems and procedures for. And it comes down to this section I'm going to read you here, is laser focus. Now it also hits home for two reasons. Number one, for what we do, what we offer. Number two, for who we do it for. Because this can be put out both ways. Now this book, if you haven't seen it, I don't know if that's backwards on the screen or not, Get a Grip. It's one of the things I love about it is it's walking through, who's in what seat. So your company has different seats. What are the definitions of those seats? And before you put a person in them, understand if they're a good fit for them. But one thing it talks about is laser focus. I'm going to read this real quick and then talk about how it affects me. So, the sun, Alan explained, showers the earth with billions of kilowatts of energy every day. Because all of that energy is diffused by the earth's atmosphere, the worst thing that happens is you get a little sunburn. On the other hand, a laser beam uses just a few kilowatts of energy. Because the energy is tightly focused on a single direction, it can cut through steel. This is the power of focus. Swan Services is more like a laser than the sun. You don't have billions of kilowatts. Well, here's the friend's dog that we're checking out for the day or two. Climbing up on me. You don't have billions of kilowatts, you only have a few. If you can get every ounce of that energy focused in a single direction, you can truly accomplish amazing things. If not, all of your energy will be diffused and you won't get much of anything done very well. Alan brought them to this point. In most entrepreneurial companies, the urgent is the enemy of the important. Leaders get sucked in by the day-to-day, distracted by daily tasks and countless interruptions. The stuff that really matters to the organization keeps getting pushed off. Ultimately, you're all staring at a growing list of 20 to 30 priorities and falling further and further behind. So, for me, the big takeaway there is the fact that the laser focus. I had never heard that example before with regards to the sun. Oddly enough, the sun is right there in front of me, and how the sun provides, cover all over the world. And like right now, I can look up at it and it doesn't kill me, and my arm's not getting burnt. But if that was a laser beam coming at me, and I look at my business in two reasons. One thing is that for me, up until a couple years ago, I took everything on. Actually, up until about last June, it was myself and Ashley and a few people that helped out, part-timers. I tried to have everything go through me. And I look back, and some of the problems that we had with clients with regards to delivering the best we could were due to that. Due to the fact that everything came from me. My focus wasn't laser focused. I was trying to be everything to everybody. And even though I consider myself pretty darn good at a lot of things in marketing, I'm amazing at a few. And so when I looked at some of our clients, it's ironic. Today I've got a lunch with a guy that I respect a lot who is involved in the restaurant business, and we've worked with some of his restaurants in the past. And one of the clients that we worked with him, we did a lot of stuff for a long time. And about 2 years ago, I got to a point where I didn't want to do any of it anymore. I didn't like the relationship. I didn't like what we were doing for the client. I didn't like that they didn't understand what we were doing or appreciate the efforts that were going in. But I also look back and realized that probably one of the reasons they didn't appreciate the efforts is that we weren't focused, is that we were everything to everybody for them. We were literally anything they did marketing, we touched. And we were 10 times better than they would be at it. And we were pretty good at it. But we weren't amazing, and we weren't able to focus on it. So, for example, like what I figured out this past 2 years is that we're really freaking good at my program that we've built called the ROI Engine, which is a product that uses Facebook Messenger, Facebook ads, and it's got a pretty good singular focus for us. It's restaurants, and it's not just any restaurant. It's traditionally, it's got 3 or 4 restaurants it fits really well with. And up until, so a year and a half ago, I got focused. 2 years ago, okay, we're going to take this to restaurants. And we took on a lot of restaurants. And then I realized about half of them, looking back now, 6 months, a year ago, half of them weren't the right type of restaurants. Yes, they were restaurants, but their model didn't fit for our model, and specifically the system. And so now we figured out, like on my end, I know specifically there's 2 types of restaurants that fit my program for me. Now, for other agencies, other businesses, they've got different needs and desires. It could fit for more than that. But for me, I've got 2 focuses on it. The other aspect of that is my focus on what I do. 2 years ago, everything ran through me. Right now, we're in the process at Driven Media, the ROI experts, my companies, of getting people in seats. Getting it to where I'm not the everything to everybody. Where some of my clients, ideally in the next 6 months or a year, don't necessarily know Matt Plapp. They know the results they get from our programs, and they might know that Matt Plapp exists in the atmosphere of the company, is that the right word, ecosystem, but they don't deal with me. And part of the problem right now is that I've got my hand in too much stuff. I don't have that laser focus. And so that's one of the goals I'm actually working on, that we had a meeting last week on Thursday, myself and Mark and Ashley, who are my leadership team, trying to figure out what are each of us awesome at, what should we be focused on, and then what should we be getting off of our plate. Because if I can do these 3 or 4 things really freaking good and get rid of these 2 or 3 things that I do okay, but get into somebody else that singularly focuses on those, his laser focus, then I'll be much better off. So just read that. And I wanted to talk to everybody about that because I thought it was pretty powerful. Are you the sun or are you a laser beam? And look at it 2 ways. Recap the way I look at it. Number 1, I was trying to be the sun to a couple of my clients. I was trying to do all of their marketing, their radio, their TV, their in-store signage, their website, their email, their Facebook, their YouTube, their Instagram, their events, their promotions, their ads on Facebook, Instagram. I mean, huge amount of tasks through me. Now, my focus is our program, the ROI Engine, which is what I wrote my book about, shameless plug. It's on Amazon. Don't 86 your restaurant sales. Now that's what we focus on. Now that's what, when we take a client on, that's what we do. The second aspect of that is the people that are driving the systems of that program. Am I driving every system of it? Or am I letting Mark and Ashley and Hunter and Logan and Sam and Hawk and Peter, the people that I work with, letting them do stuff, assigning tasks, making everybody singular, having laser focus on I do this for the program, I do this, versus Matt Plapp does it all. And so I encourage you, pick this book up. John Bessler recommended it to me. I appreciate it, John. He's out in Facebook land. He'll see this eventually. He has a business here in Northern Kentucky that's pretty successful, and great family he comes from, and recommended this book because he kind of knew where he was at. He's in a similar position to me, trying to focus, and he knew where I know where he's at, and he's knew where I was at, and saw this and thought, man, you might like this, Matt. So I bought it, reading it, not far enough into it, but it's got some pretty good things. I recommend it. It's page 72 if you just want to get the cliff notes of it. Maybe I'll take a picture of this and post it in the comments. So that's all I got. I'll see you around.